Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Looplearnings, and this is video number 8. And in this video we're going to continue to make similar form which we did in the last video. And so let's get started. If you're interested, please keep watching until the end. That would benefit me as well. And if you are new to my channel, welcome to Looplearnings, and if you're returning, welcome back. In either way, if you are not subscribing to my channel, please go ahead and do that. Hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. So in the last video, what we did, we made a form related to classes. In this video, we are going to make form for the subjects, because each class has a subjects, right? Various subjects. So that's what we are going to do. And to do that, I'll simply copy the existing form and paste it, right? And we will call it subjects F. Okay, now I will go there in the form. First of all, I'll get rid of all the fields. Let's go in the VB editor and get rid of the code that is there, so we can do the coding from the start. Okay, and basically what I'm doing is I'm deleting the record from deleting the VBA from each button that is on to my form. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Except error handling, I'm deleting everything. Okay, let's debug it to see if there is anything. Yeah, always there is something. All right, I'll close that. Now this form is fully blank with nothing. Right, so let's bring those fields first, and then we will go behind the buttons in VB editor and we'll do a little bit of VBA coding. So for me, it's easy to first make this form bound to the table that from which I intend to bring the fields, so it becomes easy, a lot easy. That's how I do it. I don't know about others. Maybe others have much more faster method or kind of similar method. Whatever it is, this works for me for sure. I'll stack them. I'll go to the home tab. I'll make it full black. In the arrange tab, I'll go to padding and narrow, and I will select all the labels. I will expand them a little bit. Control B, which means bold, and subject ID. We do a little bit of formatting so it looks good. What is the term? What is the term for that? Aesthetically pleasing to the eyes, right? That's what we are doing right now. All right, so that's very important, by the way. Okay, now we select the entire thing and align it a little bit towards the left. And what else? Well, let's shrink a little bit labels. What is that? Okay, I'll drag it towards the left a little bit, and then expand these text boxes as well. Okay, and shrink this a little bit. Next is I'm going to get rid of the record source, and I'm going to remove the control source of each text box as well, because what we are going to do is we are making it a fully 100% unbound form. Okay, so neither the field nor the form is bound to a specific data. Now if we will one more thing, manage, instead of classes we will say manage not with C, with S. Okay, manage subjects. All right, here we go. And right now these buttons does nothing because there is no code behind them except the error handling. So we have to provide some sort of code, some sort of instructions to Microsoft Access, so Access can perform a little bit of actions based on what we will ask to do so. Now let's go behind these buttons and then do a little bit of coding. So I'll select that status, data enabled, no, locked, yes, format, and we kind of change it to make it a little darker. And this class ID, basically this field particularly is linked to the class table. So what does that mean? That means we will convert this text box into a combo box. So we have a combo box that gives us the information coming from the classes table. That's what we are going to do. So right click, change to, and combo box. Okay. And oh, what happened there? I know what happened. So Control Z, come back. All right, so now this combo box is nothing, it's empty. So we'll go to design view, we'll select the combo box, we'll go to the data tab of the property sheet, row source dot, and here we are in the query editor. So we'll get the classes, we will get the subjects both table. So subject ID, class name, subject name, status date, and the class ID as well. I'll tell you why. So I'll go to data sheet view. Great. Okay, now where are we? Oh, sorry about that. This is not the area we are going to have this later on. Sorry. Here we are just choosing classes. You must be thinking what this guy is doing, right? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit lost today honestly. Okay, anyway, we are back, and if I'll go to the form view, class ID, if I'll click on the drop down, what do we see? We see numbers, basically primary ID, which we don't want to see. We want to hide these, and we want to see the name of the class itself. So we'll go to the format tab, and we'll go to the count, and we'll say count 2 because 2 columns, 0 semicolon 1. Okay, now if we'll go to the form view and we click on the drop down, what do we see? We see the class name, not the ID. So this is a bit more user friendly, right? Now we haven't done anything with these buttons yet, and onto this list box we have to fetch the information from subjects table and bring it here. Now let's let's fix this list box first, and then we move on to the buttons. How about that? Okay, so if we will double click on the subjects, what do we see? We see class ID, which is numeric value, which is basically the ID of the class. We don't want to see the ID of the class, perhaps we want to see the name of the class. So if we will use the same record source or record set for updating our list box, then we will not have the class name, we will have only the ID of the class, which is not user friendly. So what we are going to do to solve this issue? Well, let's make a query, and I click on the create tab in the ribbon, and I go to the queries section or queries area and click on query design. Now in here I come here, double click subjects and double click classes. So this is exactly the same that I was doing earlier, and I thought, oh, not that area. Okay, so this we are making standalone query. Okay, so in here subject ID, class name, subject name, status date, and class ID. So this query we are going to use, and from here we are going to bring the information or data onto this list box. So let's give a name. So let's say subjects Q. Okay, now what we do, we go to the subjects and we select the form from the corner, go to the form design, property sheet, data tab, event tab, onload event, dot. At the moment you see only the error handling code. Okay, in here what we do, we provide a little bit of VBA. So me dot list dot row source equals what? Equals select statement. Okay, so select what? From here, from this query we are going to select, so subject ID. Okay, select subject ID comma class name comma subject name, okay, comma status comma status date comma class ID. You must be thinking why he brought class ID. I will tell you later on. From where? From this query called subjects queue. Okay, now a list box has characteristics like heading. So column heads equals true, me dot list dot column count. So how many columns in this table? 1 2 3 4 5 6, so 6 column. Okay, now we will define the width of each column. All right, column widths. Okay, and double quote, we say first column we don't want to see, so hence 0 centimeter. First column I always hide because it contains the ID. It is required, it is important, but you know, I generally hide them. Then class name, perhaps 3 centimeters. Okay, how about that? Then subject name, perhaps 3.5 centimeters. Status I don't want to see, so let's keep it as 0 centimeter. Status date I don't want to see, so let's keep it 0 centimeter. We do need them, but we don't want to see them onto the list box. And last but not the least, the class ID we do need definitely, but we don't want to show it onto our list box. Okay, and that is it. That should definitely work. Okay, let's see, and go to the form view, and certainly we have the column heads and 2 columns are visible, and rest of all the columns are not visible. And later on in a bit we will see what is the function of it and why we have done that. Are you learning something, or you have not learned anything until now, whatever you have watched? If you're learning something, if you're liking whatever you're watching, please make sure that you hit the like button. That would be really appreciated. And if you have not subscribed yet, make sure that you do it now. Okay, I'm just kidding. It's up to you. I mean, if you like, please subscribe, otherwise it's all right. Okay, now let's move on. Let's do a little bit of VBA behind this button. So we'll go to the add new button first, and oops, okay, here. All right, now first we need to see if these 2 fields are empty. If they are, throw an error, simple as that, because these 2 fields are mandatory, which means we will not proceed until the user has provided information in these 2 fields. Okay, so how do we do that? With the Unbound form, in the last video you might have seen we used if is null, but with the Unbound form what we are going to do is we are going to use NZ function. I'll show you, because for some reasons is null doesn't work. I have checked it. Okay, so if let's say we used is null me dot what is class ID, okay, dot value equals true, then traditionally this is what we write, correct? But I have checked it. I don't know, maybe because our form is Unbound form, it's not bound to a field or a table, or that's why it has hard time to check with is null condition. That's what I observe. I might be wrong. So instead of this, what I did, I used NZ function. Okay, I don't know, it's function, I'm sure it's function. and we put double quote at the end. Now every time if there is no record here class ID, it will throw an error. Okay, all right, so do cmd.beep message box, please choose the class. Okay, simple as that. We be critical and header is information. All right, now इसी को हम now I started speaking in Urdu while I was because before this tutorial I just recorded the Urdu and Hindi version of the tutorial as well, so by mistake I started speaking a little bit in Urdu Hindi. That happens. Okay, all right, so me dot class id dot set focus, so we're going to set focus for the user. Next one we want to check is subject name, so I just copy the same and else, here we go, else if me dot subject name, if that is empty then throw an error as well. So instead of choose the subject, we'll say please provide the subject. Okay, there we go, else, and let's close this with end if. All right, else, well, go ahead and add the record into the table. That's what we are going to do. And how we are going to achieve that? Well, with record sets. Okay, so let's go and let's declare variable dim rs create as a record set, and then we come here and we set that variable, set rs create equals current db dot open record set and double quote, and in here we will say we'll give the name of the table in which we are going to store the information from this form, so subjects t, that's the name. Okay, make sure the spellings are correct, otherwise you get error. And then after that rs create dot add new, and then we basically tell rs create exclamation mark class id equals me dot class id dot column 0. Okay, and then rs create exclamation mark subject name, that's the next field in the table and the form as well, me dot subject name dot value. Then you have status, so rs create exclamation mark status equals me dot status dot com. Why I keep saying status.com? That's weird. In last video I think I did the same. So status update or status date, that's the name of the field. Am I right? Let's see. Status date, correct. All right, me dot status date dot value. Now this status and status date, although we are saying whatever is in these two fields, take that information and store it right here. But if you will see technically, there will be no information manually provided, which means we have to put 2 lines of code which will give the information onto the form automatically. Okay, so we avoid the manual entry. So this is how we do. Me dot status dot value equals active, me dot status date dot value equals now, at the time when the record is created. But I don't want the time, I only want the date. Therefore we will format this date and time. Okay, so date, day, month and year, and we close the parenthesis. Okay, that's it. Now these 2 line of code will work fine. Now after this rs create dot update, so we update the record, and then after this what we do is we we close that record set, because we don't want to keep the table open right in the backend. Now we throw a message box for the confirmation to the user, and we say message box is the, what is it, subject, the subject, and perhaps we give the name of the subject. Okay, in here, me dot subject name, bit more personalized message has been created. So that's the message box it is going to give to the user, and we'll choose VB information, comma, information. All right, now after this, what I want to do is two things. One, I want this list box to refresh automatically, and whatever the record is created, it should reflect here. That's first thing. Second, I want these text boxes to be cleared out automatically. So that's what I'm going to do. So to requery the list box is quite simple. me.list.requery. Okay, now for these we have to one by one provide the information. So we say me.class id dot value equals double quote me.subject name dot value equals double quote me dot status dot value equals double quote me dot status date dot value equals double quote, and we have a problem here, right? E is missing. All right, so we are done with removing this. Okay, so that is it for the create button. We are done. So let's debug it. There's no problem with the code, so that means it's okay. It will work. It should work. Now let's go ahead and do the similar practice. VB coding behind for the update button. So I select the update dot. In here I have a requirement that subject ID must be in the form. It is some record has been selected from the list box. That's what I'm trying to say. Then it should work. Otherwise it should throw an error to the user. Okay, so just to save yours and my time, I'm going to copy this. All right, I'm not going to set focus. All right, I'll again just to make sure that I'm in the right area. So here we go. So instead of class ID, I'll say subject ID. All right, please choose the record. Khalas, that's it. Now else and if. Okay, now we will have a record set created, which means the variable needs to be created, and we will call that variable rs update, dim rs update as a record set. Okay, so this is the name of the variable. Now we will set the variable here. So set rs update equals current db dot open record set, parenthesis open close, double quote, and we will open the table. So we'll give subjects t, comma, and we will say db open dynaset. Make sure that you use this. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to find the related record which we are trying to update. So rs update dot find first. What we need to find? Subject ID. Where? From this table. Okay, this subject ID. So we'll say subject ID equals ampersand me dot subject ID dot value. All right, so this is done. Now we will move on and we will find the record, and then after that we will do the editing. And how do we do that? rs update dot edit and rs update exclamation mark class ID equals me dot class ID dot column 0. So basically whatever the ID number in this field, in this combo box or 0 column, that should be updated here if in case there is a change. So I can see there is an error here. rs update, that should be the right one. rs update exclamation mark subject name equals me dot subject name, rs update exclamation mark. Next one is status, so status equals me dot status dot value. Okay, next one is status date, so rs update exclamation mark status date equals me dot status date dot value. Okay, I think that is it. So rs update dot update, make sure you update the record and then close the record set as well. This is also very important. Now after this, I'm going to give a message box for the confirmation. So we will actually copy the message box and a little bit of other information from this create new record button from here. So why should we write again the same code? So instead of created, we'll say updated. Okay, that's what we're going to do, and rest everything will remain same. Only one thing we will add is me dot subject id dot value equals double quote. Now why do we need to add these line of codes? Because these will clear out these fields also. That's why we are writing these line of codes. So I'm sure there is other way as well, you know, put some function, create a function or something module, and every time we want to clear out the record, we use that function or module. But this is more simpler. People like us who are just you know, using Access as a hobby or making small application, I think this should work fine. Okay, there's nothing seems to be an issue, so that is good. Now we will go and do a VB code behind delete button. So we'll go to the event tab dot and we kind of will go behind the update button and we get a little bit of this code, because again I don't want to repeat the things that already exist, so why not use the similar things. Okay, so this remains same. Now we will declare the variable to delete the record. Now here we will use record set, we will use SQL statement. So for both we have to create a variable. So for the record set, to search the record, we'll say rs search as a record set. Okay, and then to delete a record, we will use the SQL statement. For that, dim rs SQL as string. Okay, not stream, string. All right, there we go. Then here we will come and we will say set rs search equals current db dot open record set parenthesis open close double quote, and we say subjects t, that's the table, and make sure that you use db open dyna set, because we are going to edit or modify the information or record. Once that happens, then we will find the record that we are going to delete, and we will do that by saying rs search dot find first. We want to find first, and we'll say subject id equals me dot ampersand me dot subject id dot value. Okay, now once we found the record with this id number, whatever is here in our record set, that means in table, then we go ahead and delete that record, and in here we will use SQL statement. So do cmd dot run SQL, and we will give a delete statement, delete asterisk sign everything from where, subjects t, that's the table name, where what, subject id equals double quote ampersand and me dot subject id. Okay, so basically what we are doing is we are finding the record with the same subject id. We are going into the record set, into the table, and then we are using SQL statement to delete that record. Okay, but this where clause is very important. Do not forget it. I repeat, do not forget it. Okay, now we want to turn off the warnings, because every time you use the delete statement you will get some sort of like, hey, are you sure you want to delete? No, I don't want those warnings. So do cmd dot set warnings false. Okay, no warnings, although you can keep them on, there is no harm in that. And once it is done, what I want to do is I want to actually close this record set which was open, because we are done searching it. So we'll say rs search dot close. Okay, after this what we are going to do, we are going to throw a message box. So basically I'm going to get the same code and we're going to paste here. Instead of create it, we'll say delete it. Okay, because we have deleted the record, and rest everything remain same. Okay, dot value equals double quote. All right, so that is it, I guess. Debug it, save it. Yeah, all okay. Now time to test. There is a little bit of work that needs to be done, but we'll check it out. Right, so please choose the class, choose the record, choose the record. All right, this works well. Now let's go ahead and create a subject. So 6th class, let's say mathematics. Is this same right spelling? I'm sure, or maybe subject mathematics has been created. Now see, it automatically refreshes the list box. It refreshes the information on it, and it clear out all the fields here as well. If I double click, I should get this record populated onto here, but it will not. Why? Because we haven't done any code behind the double click event. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Design view, we'll select the list box on double click event dot, and look at this, it's all empty. So we'll say me dot subject id dot value equals me dot list dot column, and the id always remain in column number 0. As I mentioned, that's my style, and that's why I know. Okay, next one is class name. So oh, by the way, next one is this field is class id, not the name. So therefore that's why I have added this id. If you remember, I said I'll tell you later on why I am adding id. So this is where I'm going to use it. And what is the field number here? 0 1 2 3 4 5, number 5. Okay, me dot class id dot column, nope, me dot class id dot value equals me dot list dot column and number 5. Okay, that's how it should be done. Next one is class name. Sorry, that we will leave it. Subject name, next one, and the column number is 0 1 2. Okay, so me dot subject name dot value equals me dot list dot column, and it is 2. Okay, next one 0 1 2, that is done. Status 3, status date 4. Okay, so me dot status dot value equal to me dot list dot column and column number 3. Let's copy this and let's paste it here. All right, so the date is in column number 4. There we go. Let's debug it, save it. Let's go ahead and test it out now if it is working. All right, double click and there you go. That's what I was talking about, right? So you can bring the information from the list box onto the fields. Okay, now let's go ahead and create another subject. So this time we'll say computer science. Okay, 7th class, add, and look at that. Okay, now let's say I will update this, and updated it, and here we go, it is getting updated. Let's say I bring it back, computer sciences. Now let's say I create another subject, which is test subject perhaps. Okay, and let's create that, and now bring it back here because we want to delete it, and let's test it out. The subject test has been deleted. It is certainly deleted. That's it. That's how you create another Unbound form. You kind of link, make the links with VBA, and this is beautiful. This is like magic, right? Well, of course, at least for me, it's a magic. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure you also feel the similar way. Anyway, I hope that you have learned something. If you have liked whatever you have seen, please do make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. Tell me in the comments below, right? And smash the like button. That is mandatory. All right. Anyway, that is it for today. For now, we'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye bye.